2-yard sack.
Yeah, Greeny, we see him do this so often, though, right? Like spin out the backside of the pocket and make a huge play. It's just an awesome job of Baker of keeping his leverage to make that sack. And then I love this by Tua. Get on the perimeter, watch Gesicki, the tight end, just drift and hang in that little soft spot into that zone, and just that little flick by Tua, touchdown Miami.
They have found something in Mike Gesicki. Dolphins go up 7-0, and then you blink, and Patrick Mahomes has them right back in it. How about Tyreek Hill, 44 yards?
Yeah, they move the pocket, and it's really this. My guy's faster than anybody else that you have. The little double move, a beautiful throw by Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City touchdown.
By the way, it's 30-10 Kansas City. Mahomes came into the game with only 2 picks on the year. That was his third of the day. What a catch by Xavier Howard. Dan picking that off.
It's an outstanding job. This is where that length for Howard shows up. That crazy interception was beautiful. But I love Tua. Okay, now we're going to get the ball. Split safety, throw it up over the top. It's a great catch by Mike Gesicki in traffic.
In the end, Kansas City's got to hold on. They got a 6-point lead, and they got a 4th and 1, and they always throw on 4th down. They're the only team that does it.
That's because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, because they have that guy.
They're the only one.
And so they do win, and they get it to 12-1. And there are no bad wins in professional football. And you take a look with that win and the Steeler loss that we talked about. Kansas City now is the number 1 seed in the AFC, and you see where everyone else slots in. But I do want to come out on that thought as quickly as we can because, if you just watch that game yesterday, it's a game in which Kansas City wins by 6. The Dolphins gave them 9 points, basically. They gave them a safety, and they let them run a punt back for a touchdown. So, that offense, the Chiefs leave a lot of points out there, I guess is what I'm trying to say, Dan. Is that something that will catch up to them?
No, because they break all the cliches. they just do, we have these cliches in sports, hey, you can't flip the switch. Yep, the Chiefs can. The Chiefs are the only team I've ever seen that can kind of have these rough patches and then hang 28 on you in 7 minutes. And then it's you can't turn, how many times have we heard this, guys? You can't turn the ball over 4 times in the NFL and win football games. Nah, the Chiefs can. They're the only team that's able to do it, That's the best way I can explain it is they have a quarterback that can flip switches. They got a tight end who can flip switches. They got receivers that can flip switches. They got coaching staff that can flip switches. They got a defense that can do it. And so they break all these cliches. I'd love to sit here and tell you, man, sometime it's going to catch up to them. No, it won't. No, it won't. It just won't. They're just that talented, and they're the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors can go stretches and not make a bucket, and then all of a sudden they'll score 50 in a quarter on you.
Do you agree with that, Rex? It will not catch up
absolutely. Look, Ryan talked about the offensive player of the year is Travis Kelce.
Right.
Well, you could say that it's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has is 16 touchdowns. And by the way, okay, we're going to give the MVP to Aaron Rodgers. You can give it to Patrick Mahomes. He had a horrendous day, only 400 yards passing. It's crazy, these numbers. If there is one thing that can bite him a little bit, it's the fact, and you talked about leaving points out on the field, Grady, it's in the red zone. They're 19th in the league in red zone efficiency. That's the only thing I see negative about this team.
I can't find any buyers. RC, can I find a buyer on the eventually this will catch up to them?
Greeny, listen, bro, I work too hard for my money to just give it away. So I'm definitely not buying that. It's going to hurt the Kansas City Chiefs. When you look at, you watched this team yesterday, and you're playing against a really good Miami Dolphins defense. Yeah. Xavier Howard is a guy we're talking about as the defensive player of the year with 9 interceptions. He makes a play. There's a tip pick by Byron Jones. You're getting sacked for 30 yards, and you're starting to think to yourself, you're down 10-0, it's to Miami. Nah, it don't matter. Right. We're going to get this going. And we're talking about this team leaving points on the board or Miami Dolphins giving them 9 points. No, they created that. Yeah. Chris Jones had an amazing twist, and he pushed the pocket and got to Tua Tagovailoa. McCole Hartman was drafted because you didn't know what was going to go on with Tyreek Hill, and now you add another speed receiver to your team who can also return. This team is just stacked. They understand that they can beat you in so many ways, and they're so explosive that we just see it happen. And Dan is absolutely right. There are so many things we think about football that they get to do because of the dude that plays quarterback. And yes, Tyreek Hill is great, and Kelsey is great, and Tyrann Mathieu is great. All of these pieces are amazing. But because he's a rule breaker, because he's a dude that defies the laws of what football is, so does this football team. This football team is on another level, and we're going to nitpick it and try to find ways to say that they're not, but they are, and we just got to accept it.
Go ahead, Rex.
All right. Didn't they have 240 yards rushing against the Buffalo Bills, too?
Yes.
It's
See, this
by
is
the
who
way, they
Bruce
can run the
Arians
ball
thinks
if they
they are.
want to. Like,
That's who
Hey,
Bruce
Greeny,
Arians. Yeah.
Greeny, Bruce
Yeah.
Arians, I get it. You asked what game he.
They're still in it. The Giants had a very disappointing day, 5-8 after a loss to Arizona. Daniel Jones sacked 6 times. New York had a 4-game winning streak come to an end. Philadelphia beat the Saints in what was the 4th biggest upset of the season, according to our analytics. Jalen Hurts, and we've talked about it all morning, was the overwhelming story, rushing for 106 yards. And Washington won a 4th straight for the first time in 4 years. Did it with 2 touchdowns from the defense. And so as we speak, the Washington football team currently leads the NFC East. You take a look here at each team and their chances, according to our analytics, of getting to the finish line in front. Washington, a 68% chance to win the division. And usually we'll look at this thing and we'll base it on, well, who has the best quarterback? Well, between injuries and everything else, it's hard to say. I look at it this way. Who's the best player in that division? Washington has that.
Chase Young. And I get it, he's a rookie, but to me, he's such an all-around talent. It's amazing. And that front 4 is the difference for the Washington football team. And if you're going to look at one unit, what can carry you through a division title, it's that front 4. To me, Washington has the best player in Chase Young and the best unit in that defensive line.
The one, I guess, that has the biggest question is Philadelphia, Dan Orlovsky. And again, as we speak, Doug Peterson has yet to name Jalen Hurts his starter for this week, but that feels like a foregone conclusion. And what this means for Carson Wentz, I know, has been a big topic of conversation here.
Yeah, I think that Jalen Hurts is going to be their starter moving forward for the rest of this week. I don't think that this is a playoff football team. This is a team that defensively played much better last night. We'll see if they continue to keep that going. I think that when it comes to Carson Wentz and the potential fixing of Carson Wentz, it doesn't start physically. Like, that is not where you're going to start physically. You have to go back to 2017 and what that was like to be the MVP runaway and to have it yanked out from underneath you with injury and then watch someone take your team to the Super Bowl. Then you have to go back to 2018 and sit down and talk with him about it, coming back from injury, working hard, and then watch someone else take your football team to the playoffs. What did that do to him mentally? Then you got to go to 2019 and last year him going on that run and it's finally I did it, right? Like I've moved past Nick Foles. And then the second round draft pick happens. And they've got to sit down and figure out where he is when it comes to that stuff. It is not physical where you start. You have to figure out where he is mentally when it comes to fixing him. If I have to pick a team in the NFC that I'll go with who's going to win it, I go back to when Ron Rivera months ago now said, I'm taking my shot. It seems like his shot has a chance right now. And if Alex Smith is healthy, because I don't think Daniel Jones is, I'll take the Washington football team to win that division.
What do you think, RC?
No, I agree with Dan. And I was thinking about Dan this morning when he was talking about quarterbacks on the call. And I remember because it's at 5:15 a.m., it's very difficult to make me laugh. Y'all know how I feel about that morning call. And Dan made me laugh because Dan was like, well, shoot, I'm just thinking who's going to get hurt next.
Yeah.
And that's what it's starting to seem. So it seems that the healthy quarterback wins. But what we do know is healthy is that defensive line of the Washington football team. What we do know is nonstop, relentless pursuit, relentless pressure is Chase Young and what he brings to the game. And I think we're starting to see that part of Washington start to take over football games. We saw it in Dallas. You saw it in Pittsburgh. And obviously yesterday with him making the signature play of the game with the scoop and score. And so we're starting to see Ron Rivera put his imprint on this team rally around its coach and its inspirational quarterback and find ways to win games. And if it's a race till 7, I'm putting Chase Young in that race because I think he'll beat everyone in the NFC East.
All right, so that is 3 votes at this moment for Washington, but we shall see. Meanwhile, let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Yesterday in South Florida,